Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. Despite this famous tagline, we are seeing aggression on LAC. This is happening for the first time after 1977. What is the reason behind this? What is the reason behind the recent skirmishes in Galwan Valley? Is there much more than what meets the eye? Is it because India has become a prominent nuclear nation? Or is it because India is reclaiming its land to carry out infrastructural activities? To understand more on this, a seminar was organized on Tuesday, 3rd March 2020 on India-China relations in 21st century, challenges and opportunity. It was organized by Center for Advanced Strategic Studies, Center for China Analysis and Strategy, in association with India Council of World Affairs and Maharashtra Education Society, Pune. This seminar was also organized to commemorate the 160th year of Maharashtra Education Society. It was held at MES Auditorium, Pune.
Air Marshal Bhushan Gokhale, retired, former Vice Chief of the Air Staff and President, Maharashtra Education Society, Pune, shared his thoughts on the topic.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Center for Advanced Strategic Studies, located within the campus of Savitribai Phule Pune University, and my co-host, led by Jaydev Ranade, the Center for China Analysis and Strategy, I welcome you all to this seminar on India-China relations. We are very glad that Shri Vijay Gokhale, who was till recently the Foreign Secretary of ours, is going to be giving the keynote address. And as you know, it's just been about a year since the Balakot airstrike. And on the very next day, you must have seen and heard Shri Vijay Gokhale on the television giving a very precise briefing as to why India went in for this action and why this target was chosen. A big round of applause for Shri Vijay Gokhale. I'm also extremely glad that our co-host, Jaydev Ranade, who is a keen China watcher for many years, and I'm sure that all of you have seen him also on the television and some of the interviews. He's written 2 books, and I must thank him for giving us this idea of co-hosting the seminar, and please give a round of applause for Jaydev. As you know, this seminar is sponsored by Indian Council for World Affairs, the ICWA, which is located in Delhi, and they do these kind of programs outside Delhi also, and that we've been fortunate to have them sponsoring us, basically on international relations and foreign affairs. We have a rep from ICWA, Dr. Priyanka Pandit. She's about to reach, and she would be also later addressing us. And of course, in the audience, we have Shri Sudhir Devre, Foreign Service, who is settled in Pune, was director of ICWA just a few years ago. A word about Center for Advanced Strategic Studies. It was established in 1992 by then 7 luminaries. One of them, ex-Foreign Secretary, late Shri R.D. Sathe, former Defense Secretary, late P.V.R. Rao, and incidentally Jaydev Ranade is a nephew of him. Then we had Admiral Natkarni and Marshal Malse, Shri Bhide, who was the Vice Chancellor of Pune University, and some others. This particular center has 200 plus members, and we do these kind of outreach programs basically for the students in particular and general public. These 200 members are from varied walks of life, quite a few of them from military, Army, Navy, Air Force, large number settled in Pune, but also from other walks of life like IS, police, IB, and many other civilian activities. So welcome to all of you on behalf of the Center for Advanced Strategic Studies. As you know, my co-host is the Center for China Analysis and Strategy, which is located in Delhi, and Retd Ranade is the chairperson for that. He has also run many programs, and I'm sure he'll mention about a few of those to you. As regards the Maharashtra Education Society, I must take an opportunity to mention this because we have had a great support from MES. We are in their auditorium, and as it was introduced, I'm a past student from 1st to 11th. In our time, it was SSC at 11th. And then, of course, in some other capacity today, I'm back with MES, very glad to be associated once again. But I must mention that MES is now celebrating the 160th year of its formation, going back to 1860. And that is just precisely 3 years after the first War of Freedom of 1857. So you can imagine, just 3 years after difficult times, when the British were about to force various education systems onto us, the three visionaries whose photographs you can see there, Adya Krantivir, Vasudev Balwant Phadke, Bhave and Indapurkar, they started what was known then as Pune Native School. Today we have more than 70 branches in 7 districts, many colleges, many schools. We are here in the campus, as I mentioned. Just to mention that as one of our social outreach programs, we also have an Ayurveda college and a nursing college in Chiplun. And we also have a very unique school, a sainik school only for the girls, and 650 girls are residing there at Pirangut. We are thankful to Sri Rajesh Sahasrabudhe, Dr. Deshpande, and all his team for ensuring this kind of arrangement for the seminar. Thank you. A word about the seminar. There are a lot of experts who are going to speak about it, so I won't take much time. But as you know, Indo-China relations have been turbulent, to say the least. After the initial bonhomie of Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai in the 1950s, the 1962 war has left a big scar, and we haven't been able to really get over that. And 4,000 long border, which is yet not settled in spite of many border dialogues that I've had. One good thing has happened is that we have continued with trade, we continue with people to build contact. Though the trade is not in our favor, and I'm sure that then in the next session, a very scholarly address by economist Ajit Ranade, he will cover some of those issues. We have also worried about the China-Pakistan nexus, especially the road going through and to Gwadar. And in the same next session, we are going to have Mrs. Hasija, who would be talking about One Belt, One Road and the CPAC corridor. We are also going to have after that General Bakshi, who was Army Commander, Eastern Army Command, at the time of Doklam crisis. He'll be throwing light on not only Doklam, but generally the military relations between the India and China. Along with him, we're going to have Commander Das, who's an expert on underwater domain. And as you know, today we worry about string of pearls, we worry about Chinese submarines coming into Indian Ocean, and he's going to throw light on that and other aspects of naval preparedness. After that, we're going to have a session on the recent happenings in Hong Kong and also the problem in Uyghur. As you know, yesterday's news, when all the factories have been closed because of want of workers, the news says that the Chinese are forcing the Uyghur Muslims to shift into those factories and start as forced labor. I don't know how much is true because, as you know, the bamboo curtain, as China is known as, has also a very restrictive media. So there are a lot of things happen on social media, and I'm glad that we can discern through when these experts speak to us. And then that is going to be addressed by Another expert on China, Ambassador Gautam Bambawale, who has been our ambassador in China before his retirement. Before that, he was in Pakistan and also Bhutan. And along with him, we're going to have Dr. Priyanka Pandit from ICWA, who will be speaking about some of these similar issues. And lastly, in the concluding session, we will once again hear from Jaydev Ranade and the former director of ICWA, Ambassador Sudhir Devre. So I welcome you all, and I must mention there are many seniors here. I won't take names for the sake of omitting some of the names, but I must mention we have Commandant NDA, General Misri here. General Misri has just taken over National Defense Academy, but what I want to mention is on the 26th January Republic Day Parade, you must have seen him giving the first salute to the Rashtrapati. That time he was in Delhi area. And what is also important is that he was the first one to set up the quarantine camp in Delhi for all those Indians who were evacuated from Wuhan after the famous coronavirus that is going on. So thank you, General, for attending this. I must also thank our digital media partner, led by Kunal Tilak. Kunal Tilak is the great-great-great-grandson, what we call in Marathi as a Khapar Pantu of Lokmanya Tilak. And that Tilak Chronicle is our digital media partner. And of course, we have a lot of print and electronic media, a large number of students. I would urge you to ask questions to all these experts other than the first session of keynote address. Please feel free, and I'm sure that the interaction would help us a lot. Thank you once again, attending in such large numbers. Jai Hind.